stop, stick around, come through and dig the sound of the fly brown 6060 cycle. Who thought
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of Wine Down with Kev. Thank you so much. I do not take it for granted that you've taken time out of your busy day to be with us to hear another exciting podcast. As you know by now, I am on a mission to do 50 podcasts with 50 insurance agents from 50 states. Wow. Yes, it's crazy. Yes, it's insane, but so am I. Let me start off with gratefulness by saying thank you to everyone that is tuned in to watch, whether you watch this on live stream, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We appreciate it. Thank you also for those of you on YouTube who have clicked the subscribe and the notification button. I can't thank you enough. You're helping us to grow like crazy, and I appreciate it. But enough of that. Today, on our 50-state journey, we're going to a state that I'm familiar with, a state along Route 80 that I've driven through many times, stopped there a couple of times, the wonderful state of Ohio, very specifically Cleveland, or as LeBron James would say, the land. And in the land, I'm going to introduce to some, reintroduce to others, my friend. She's an amazing person. She's an incredible wife. She's the mother to two beautiful children. She's an Allstate agent. She's a motivator. She's a coach with Craig Wiggins Coaching, and all-around inspiration to many. She is a shero, and she is Nanci Cieckiewicz. Nanci, welcome to the call. How you doing, Nanci? How you doing today?
It's an amazing day to be alive. It's great. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. I probably didn't do you justice in the intro, so tell the people something about yourself that I should have mentioned, but I failed to do.
I think you hit the high points. I have been married for 7 years now. We have two beautiful daughters. We live in the land, which is so exciting right now. Grew up in Cleveland, have my agency in Cleveland, love being a Clevelander.
I love it. Off camera, we were talking a little bit of hoops. The land is back on top again. Is it real? Are the Cleveland Cavaliers, are they serious? Are they going to do it?
Yes, they absolutely are, Kevin.
I will tell you, I just got converted to a believer maybe 2 weeks ago. I said, this is not a fast start. This is not a fluke. They are good, and everybody else had better pay attention and take them serious every single night.
Good basketball.
How does it feel to be in a city when the team is winning, especially a city like Cleveland with diehard sports fans, whether you're talking football or baseball or basketball? When the team is winning, what's the walk around energy in town like right now?
It's amazing. I don't think there's any fans like Cleveland fans. I've been to so many different states, different arenas, and they're all special in their own way, but there is something unique and energetic and just alive about being a Cleveland fan. And right now with the Cavaliers, it is amazing. You know, the Browns are what they are. We have Ohio State, we have the Cavaliers, and it's amazing.
Shout out to Ohio State. Let's go. Let's get ready for Monday night. All the best against Notre Dame. I am a fan. I'm watching. I am enjoying it. So, Nanci, I want to jump into the insurance stuff. That's easy for us. We're friends. We can talk insurance all day. But I'd rather start with the fun stuff. Talk to me about this journey that you're on. We're on day 16. You're going hard. You make me feel like I am just fronting on the gram, like I go to the gym once in a while. You're doing some major stuff. Talk to me about the mission. How did it start? What's the end game? You're swimming, you're boxing. Talk to me, Natch. What is going on?
My word for 2025 is dedication and being intentional and being consistent, because all of those things matter in every area of my life. And the thing I decided to focus on this year is my health, having two little girls, having an agency to run, having a long life, hopefully ahead of me. I wanted to be able to live the healthiest life I can. And I had 5 years ago lost 100 pounds and felt amazing. And then during COVID, just got unintentional and non-consistent. And so I am back at it, and I love the Facebook and Instagram and all the encouragement that everyone's bringing me. But I'm just trying to be every day some kind of exercise. And I have a great trainer in Cleveland that has been working with me for many years, Mike Richardson. He's amazing. He taught me how to swim. He boxes with me. He shows up at the gym all the time, and it's amazing. And I feel good, and I love the encouragement too.
I love it. I love it. So where are we? The good news is you said you dropped the buck before, you dropped 100. So anything you've done once, you can do twice. What kind of start are you off to? What have we dropped? What have we dropped in these first couple of weeks?
So far, I'm not focusing on the weight. I'm looking at the inches and the calories. So I am down about 7 pounds so far. But more importantly, all of the weight will eventually drop if I stay, in my opinion, consistent with the process. And it's just finding things that I love to do, and swimming and boxing are two of my favorite things to do.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Boxing is hard. Boxing is hard. There's a boxing gym across the street from my office. I went there one day for a workout, a couple of times actually. But the first time I went, I didn't fight anybody. I didn't pick a fight, but they just had me walk across the ring, step, jab, back, walk, step, jab, jab. And my God, I felt like I got jumped, Nanci.
Let me just tell you, my trainer is a saint because I am slow when it comes to picking up on the form. And, he'll say duck, and I don't duck. And then I get hit in the head. I'm learning, but it is a lot more work than most people think. The boxers in the ring make it look like nothing, but there's so much cardio in boxing. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not talking dancing on my toes. I'm not jumping rope. I'm just doing it to live. So you said you focus on your health. Sometimes in business, we reverse this phrase. The phrase is health is wealth. But sometimes we get so busy and focused on, I got to add another zero, I got to add another dollar, that we reverse it and we think that wealth is health. What say you to that? Is health is wealth? True or false?
I would say that is very true. Health is wealth. And it took a little coaching with Justin Harkleroad in the Standard. He focuses on balance. And it took me going through that last month and really focusing and realizing that I wasn't balanced and that I was letting my work take over my life more than it should, about 80% of my day. And so I just got lazy, and it's not good. And so I decided I need balance in my life. I need to focus on me so that I can show up in the other areas of my life 100%.
I love it. A big shout out to Justin, all the amazing work he's doing with the Standard Playbook. I had Heather on earlier. She shouted him out. So continue the great work, and for calling you on it. That's what coaching is all about. Not just to be a friend, but to be an accountability partner to help all of us get to the next level. I believe in coaching. I've always had coaches. I've always had mentors, and people say, well, Kevin, you're a coach. You don't need a coach. Well, if I don't have coaches, that means I'm not coachable. I can learn. I can improve in so many areas of my life. I really, really need it. So more fun stuff before we get in business. I saw your 2024 highlight reel video, and the idea of building rapport in the podcast is to make people like you. But if I say that I saw the picture you took with Usher, I don't know which way that's going to swing the audience. What was that about? That might bring on envy, and that's not my goal.
Let me tell you, I love going to concerts. I love music, and I love meeting my favorite artists. So that was actually my fourth time meeting Usher. I love it. Met Chris Brown, Trey Songz, Boyz II Men, New Kids on the Block. It is one of my favorite things to do.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it. So that just wasn't one of you and Usher. Y'all good now. Y'all the first name is Usher and Nanci. No Mr. Raymond. No your last name. Y'all are good now. Fourth time. That's a beautiful thing. And I saw you got a concert list for 2025 already. Do you already go see Nelly, or is Nelly on the radar?
No, they're both on the radar. Nelly, Ja Rule, Eve. It's kind of a group concert, so should be fun.
I got it. Heavy, late 90s, hip hop, R&B, all when music was fun.
That's right.
I'm good. I'm good with your music selection. We are good there. Hey, DJ, what's up? I'm in the middle of recording the podcast.
I know, man.
No. Yeah, so, this guy, we want to talk about something different. He's trying to get his website and his Google My Business page going.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody knows you helped me to get to the 2 Comma Club, and be seen by a couple of million people. But this person wants to do something different. They're trying to run ads to their book of business, their model line campaigns and stuff like that.
I know, Kev.
Oh, man. Well, DJ, talk to the people, man, so I can get back to the podcast. How can you help?
Yeah, man. So listen, I can help you by running monoline ads to your auto, your home, as well as optimizing your website, your Google business profile, and your social media outlets. We can do the exact same thing we've done for Kevin over the years and get you in front of millions of sets of eyeballs to help you grow your business. Contact Carroll Media today. Kev, let them know.
DJ, I appreciate you jumping in the podcast. Hit up Carroll Media. DJ, I gotta go. I gotta get back to the podcast.
I know.
Let's shift. Nanci, what do you love about being an Allstate agent?
That's a great question. There are so many opportunities that being an Allstate agent affords me every day. No 2 days are the same. I get to come in and help people protect their largest assets, and by doing so, protect their financial future. I love the diversity that every day brings. Some days we're setting people up with policies. Some days we're seeing those policies come to fruition. Some days we're talking to people about their life circumstances. Some days I'm building my team and working with my support staff, my customers. There's always so many different things that I get to do. But most importantly, I love the purpose that it gives me. I love the purpose it gives my team members to be able to help people and protect what matters most.
Nanci, you make insurance sound exciting, but John Q. Public and the person that's not in this wonderful field, the knock is they think insurance is boring. Why is that?
They don't understand it.
I would agree with you. What do you mean by they don't understand it? Help me understand.
People don't, in my opinion, understand what it can do for them and how it protects them and how it allows them financial freedom and security, really being able to protect your home and being able to protect your assets in a car accident, and just how important it is. I like to say we're up there with your accountant and your doctor. I mean, having a good insurance plan is just as good as having a good retirement plan. It's so important. Love it. We can talk about it all day.
I love it. We're gonna do that. But before we go forward, let's go backwards. What's your backstory? How did you get into insurance? Because I think you worked in the business as staff before you became an agent. So what's your backstory? It's
actually super interesting. I had my insurance at the local Allstate agent when I was 18 years old. And I would go in every month and make my payment back when going in the office was common. And the lady who took my payment every month I was working at the grocery store at the time, and she came through my grocery line. And I said, I get to help you today. And she goes, well, actually, we're hiring. And the next day I was there applying. And after about 50 interviews, because I was 18, the owner finally hired me and started out as the secretary, worked up to service, and then sales, and then office manager. And he was an awesome Christian man who felt led to go do something else and said, Nanci, I'm going to be getting out in a couple of years. If you want to take over the agency, I'll give you the opportunity. And here we are today.
Wow. So let's put some time frames on the story. You start at 18, and there's an incredible jewel. There's a gem right there in that lesson of agents struggling to hire. Give a young person a chance. Okay, so here's the impact of it. So number one, there's value in that. Number two, you did all the work to build up to it. How much time goes by between age 18 and this wonderful Christian agency owner giving you the opportunity as well as a timeline? It's just, 2025, 2027 on taillights. How much time was it between age 18 and between he started really planting the seed that one day you could be an owner?
It was roughly about 3 years in. He had planted the seed, and then 4 years later, took over the agency as the owner, and I've been here 15 years as the owner now.
Well, that is, I'm not going to do the math. I love math, but I'm not going to count your age. Not good for business. But nevertheless, you were really young to plant that seed in a 21-year-old, and for you to take over 4 years later at 25. That is amazing, Nanci. And collectively, as it relates to our peers and our friends, do you think we're missing an opportunity because we're not pitching and offering to hire young people, even if it's part-time or Fridays, just one day a week until they can do more?
Absolutely. There's people out there that don't know. I didn't know about insurance, and it was never on my radar of jobs, to be a teacher or a doctor or a nurse. We don't think about an insurance agent or a business owner. But the owner saw skills that I had and character traits, and he helped mold those and grow on those. And I think young people need to be mentored and shown a better life, a different path. And I think we're definitely missing out on that.
I think that's huge. So thank you for sharing that journey. I love to talk to LSPs, non-insurance people, that's licensed sales staff that become agents. When your staff working in the office every day, and maybe that agent came in every day, maybe he doesn't come in every day, but there's a perception by staff that agents don't do any of the work, most of the work. And then you put the ownership hat on, and it's a little bit different. So let's talk about perception and reality. Your perception when you were there every day, taking payments, doing endorsements, selling, all of those things. Was the agent sitting next to you, shoulder to shoulder, doing all the work at the same time? Or was he more or less letting you know what needed to be done, you and the rest of the team, and getting out of the way? And did you guys perceive that you were doing all the hard work?
So in the beginning, obviously, he was there a little bit more until he knew and trusted me to be able to take over all the responsibilities that I had. I would say he was there maybe 2-3 hours out of the day. But in reality, he didn't need to be there at all anymore because he had trained us up to do the job that we were there to do. So not there often, but there as much as needed to be, and always available if we needed him for something. So
awesome. Well, shout out. I like how you gave him credit for training you guys to be in that position, because that's the other hidden jewel. It's not an absentee ownership position, but you must train your team so they can carry out the things that other people think, the customers think that we should be doing. So that being said, trained you well. You're pretty much running the office in his absence, in his short presence every day. Now you become the owner. What was your biggest oh-ish moment?
I guess the biggest moment would be you have $0 in your checking account and you just bought an agency. There's no turning back. Keep going.
Oh my God. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. You're fully responsible for everything, but you don't have a green dollar, a red penny, or a silver coin to take care of it. I look in your eyes and literally you're processing the emotion of how that felt right now.
I am.
How did it feel?
I look back at it and I knew that's where God wanted me to be. And he said he would, when the owner left, he gave me the Bible verse in Jeremiah that says, I know the plans I have for you to prosper. And I was not afraid. And I knew that I worked hard and I already knew the business. And I thought, well, if this is where God wants me to be and I work hard, it'll be what it'll be. And praise the Lord, 15 years later, it has been an amazing ride. And I would not change a thing.
Jeremiah 29:11. Let's go, Nanci. Agency built on that. He planned for you to succeed and not to fail. You didn't doubt it. And fast forward. Hey, Ray, what's up? I'm in the middle of shooting a podcast here.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing, man. I'm talking to a couple of my guys. They're struggling with all this new stuff, man. It's taking them 20, 30 minutes to fill out a quote sheet.
That's way too long, man. I think we can help.
You sure, man? They're trying to do different stuff. They're trying to do like X-Day campaigns. They're cross-selling. They want to follow with people they meet at networking events.
Yeah, well, Canopy Connect, you just send them a link. What is that? You can text it to them. You can put it on your business card as a QR code, scan that up, and all they have to do is click on that link, find their carrier, their insurance carrier, and sign into it. And we're gonna go in and grab all the information you need to get a quote, all their policy information, their deck pages, drivers, vehicles, and enrich that with property data. We get all that stuff, right? So you don't have to spend 30 minutes on the call. It's all easy.
Well, shut the front door. Enough said. Guys, you heard it right here. Stop going old school. Use Canopy Connect. Thanks, Ray. I got to get back to the podcast.
Got it. See you.
How long did it take to turn the corner from $0 to, guess what? I paid everybody and I still have $100 left.
Honestly, I have been very strategic with money and budgeting since I was a little kid. To be honest, I was 9 years old, taking care of my parents' bills. So it was a month turnaround and I was already paying the bills with what Allstate was paying us at the time. It took 12 years to pay all the loans and the debt off, but I was green after the first month.
I love it, Nanci. Fast forward to today, you're giving other agents budgetary advice and not insurance agents. Tune into this part, people. This is life budgeting advice. And now I see you started at age 9, so you got a ton of experience. What are some simple budgeting tips? Forget being an agency owner that John Q. Public, Jane Q. Public can follow, because in this economy that we're in with inflation, rising prices everywhere, what are some basic things that any single person, any family can do to tighten their belt a little bit and make things go a little bit further?
Know where your money is going. Know what you're spending your money on and be aware of it. The grocery bill, be intentional on, setting a budget for your groceries and the meals that you're going to cook for the week. Be aware of subscriptions that are being charged that you're using or not using, and really just sit down and write down how much money I have coming in every month. And that's your max. That's all you can spend. If you don't have it, you don't spend it. That's always been my rule.
I love it. So and I like that you started with the groceries. There's commonality on groceries. Everybody eats, doesn't matter what your food selection is. We all eat, we all buy groceries. Sometimes we wait to the last minute to buy groceries. Sometimes we have no groceries, so therefore we eat out. What's your mindset? When is grocery shopping day for you? And also, how do you grocery shop now? Are you going to the supermarket, or are you doing it all online so you don't get that, you're not breaking that rule that says never shop when you're hungry?
So a little bit of both. So on Sundays, me and my husband sit down and plan 4 meals we want for the week to cook at home. And we know we're going to eat out a couple days a week, and we plan for that and where we're going to go, what that budget's going to look like. And our weekly budget includes our out to eat budget as well as what we're going to be eating. We were doing online, and I would say, honestly, it's a little bit more strategic in budgeting because you know what your cart total is right away. However, because everybody's doing it now, it's actually a little slower of a process than being able to get the food and so forth. So it's just been a little bit more cumbersome for us at this moment. So we actually go to the grocery store and shop once a week, pick what we need, and stick within the budget.
I love it. I love it. I'm on the fence. I'm preaching to people about coming into the digital world and do this digital, that digital. But we still go to the grocery store. But I got a buddy of mine, him and his wife, they haven't been back to the grocery store since the pandemic. They're all online. So everybody's a little bit different. But I think you gave some great budgeting tips. If you do nothing else, people, if you look at the groceries, the in-home budget, the eating out budget, and the subscriptions, which is huge, we sign up for little things that are just a few dollars, and then we outlive their usefulness. We stop doing it, but it's like the gym membership. We keep going. Speaking of which, looking at your Facebook this morning, I see LA Fitness Brooklyn checking in. I'm like, is Nancy in New York? So little myopic view of the world. Forgot about Brooklyn, Ohio. So my bad. My bad. So you got a new LA Fitness in town. So that's a good thing. That is a good thing. So Nancy, one of the reasons I wanted to do 50 agents, 50 states, I wanted to emphasize the value of the local agent, local captive agent, local independent agent versus the .com or the 1-800 number. I've been to Cleveland. I've driven through Cleveland in horrible weather. What are some of the things being in Cleveland that is very important that you help protect your customers with properly, whether it's on the road or the lake effect snow that you get with the house? What are some of the unique coverages and conversations you have that may differ from some of the conversations that I have in New York or another agent in another state might have?
Great question. So who better to know all the issues about Ohio and Cleveland than someone who's actually in Cleveland? Some of the main things that we deal with in the immediately surrounding areas are around car insurance and comprehensive coverage. We have a lot of deer in the suburbs around us, and deer coverage being under the comprehensive. In Ohio, we still offer a zero deductible for pennies. That's also where our glass is covered. And there's lots of major highways, and the primary things we experience in Ohio would be glass breakage, glass replacement, and deer, all covered under that comprehensive, where you could carry a zero deductible for $1 or $2 extra a month and have nothing out of pocket. Talk about budgeting. Who doesn't want to do that? And then I would say the other major thing is being able to explain to people it's real that there's weight of ice and snow. Like right now, it has snowed for the last 3 weeks. Nonstop, and it hasn't warmed up at all. So it's just piling up. And people don't understand those named peril policies don't cover the weight of ice and snow. And so those kind of things that we're just used to. Pipes freezing. It's a real thing when it's 20 below freezing for 3-4 days in a row. So there's just so many different, I would say, freezing pipes, wind, deer, tornadoes we get. Unfortunately, we've had quite a bit of that in the summertime, and then water backup issues. We deal with a lot of the suburbs are older and their pipes just can't handle the infrastructure anymore. And so we have to educate people about the water that can come into their basement. Those would be the major things that we deal with here in Cleveland.
I love it. I follow everything that you said, but for any person that sees this, watch this podcast, somebody's going to like, weight of ice and snow. What does that mean?
That means that it just keeps snowing and it's heavier, and it gets heavier and wetter, and then it starts to cave in the roof. We've had icicles so heavy and big that it will pull down gutters. It's the weight of the ice and snow that starts to cause roofing and gutters and falls on cars, and because it's heavy snow.
That's good stuff. What do you advise customers about when it's been snowing for a few weeks in a row and I can't get out there to get that stuff off of my roof? That's the real concern, especially in an environment where we're doing so much stuff digitally and so much stuff online. What's the standard advice that you give the customers in that situation?
Well, don't take a blowtorch and try to warm it up like some people have done.
Things not to do if you're getting insurance living in Cleveland.
Do not start a fire by trying to get rid of the weight of ice and snow. There's not a whole lot you could do about getting the snow off the roof, but you can take some precautions with getting the icicles off of the gutters, paying attention to that, making sure that you keep your heat on, maybe sometimes keeping the water running, even a trickle, so that the pipes don't freeze. Those would be primary precautionary advice I would give.
That's great advice. When I lived in Chicago, Nanci, New York, Cleveland, Chicago weather, not very different. We're probably about 5 to 10 degrees warmer, but it's a big difference. We also are not flat, so we don't have the same exposure that you have. But in Chicago, the community that I lived in, probably all of Chicago and definitely my cul-de-sac, everyone had the habit of shoveling snow all night. So what do I mean? If it starts snowing at 4 o'clock today and the news says it's going to go, they don't wait until tomorrow morning to come out. You come out, you shovel 2 inches, eat dinner, relax, you shovel 2 more. And by the time the morning comes, it's business as usual. It doesn't shut anything down. I mean, the city never, I lived there 9 years, the city never slowed down. I would imagine in Cleveland, people have the same habit, a little bit at a time. So you're not waking up to 12 inches, which is a completely different task than several trips with 2 inches at a time.
100%. And I would say most Clevelanders probably have invested in a snowblower.
Yes, yes. Welcome to the future, Kevin Spann.
Save your back.
Oh my God, yes, especially at a certain age. I love it. I love it. I love that in getting into that, you got into both the auto coverage and the home coverage. So, Nanci, what would you say to someone that's listening to this podcast or watching on YouTube? They're not in insurance right now, but they want to get into it. What is the process? How do I get into the insurance business in Ohio?
Sure. A lot of it's online now. There's not a whole lot of in-person learning opportunities anymore. So there's many different companies that provide online learning. You do your courses online, you sit down for your test, and you have an insurance license. And then I would encourage, anyone getting into insurance, find an agent that's been around for a while that can teach you and train you to be the best customer service and sales agent that you can be to really help customers get the right coverage and not just sell a policy.
I love it. That's solid advice. Let me see if I can document the steps. First, find an online licensing course. Certain number of hours that people have to do any pre-license training in Ohio, or can you just walk right in and take a test?
I believe it was 40 hours in person, and I believe you have to spend the same 40 hours online doing the online training.
Okay, not bad. Couple $100?
Yeah, less than 200.
That's not bad. To get a great career, what could a new person starting out, not a killer salesperson, could they hope to make a little money selling insurance or servicing insurance in Ohio?
Oh, absolutely. Our starting is it's 60,000. So.
Wow, that's going to resonate with people around the country. Nanci, your agency, number one, are you hiring right now?
I am.
What are you looking for? Plug your agency. Tell the people what you're looking for. Who's the ideal person to work in your agency right now? Sales, service, tell the people what you want.
I am looking for someone to help with our sales and come on in and teach customers about their insurance so that ultimately they'll buy insurance. Characteristics that a salesperson would have to make them successful would be coachable. You like to learn, you like to help people. Your multitasking skills, you definitely have to have those. And you have to care. Really. I mean, there's certain things that I could teach you insurance, but as long as you have integrity and you're coachable and you really want to do this, you could definitely be successful.
I love it. That was a great commercial for anybody in the land looking to get into the insurance business. It's a wonderful field. And let me speak well of you so you don't have to do it yourself. Nanci is not only an amazing person, an amazing insurance agent, she's also an amazing insurance coach. She's absolutely fantastic at helping people in many areas. So let's talk about coaching a little bit. You took 2024 by storm. You became a coach. You're on calls, you're on webinars nationwide, and you're just teaching people about things that are there, but nobody knew was there. How have you enjoyed the experience of coaching?
I love it. I love being able to share my knowledge. I love being able to share my processes, things that I thought weren't anything special, really. Just I love to get from point A to point B as fast and efficient as possible and to be as profitable as possible. And so I made all these processes and come to find out other people actually would appreciate, and me enlightening to those processes. So, one of the biggest things I had no idea, Allstate offered texting to us a few years ago. And as soon as they did, I thought, well, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Why is it? Yeah, who wouldn't use it? And there was these features that you could schedule things to go out whenever you wanted them to clear up your day. And I thought, well, I'm going to get going on this. And so I come to find out not a lot of people were using it. And I love being able to help other agents succeed and set those processes up so your agency is just a well-oiled machine. Your team knows what they need to do, and you can just help coach them up and help them, get some sales.
I love it, Nanci. And what's funny is you say it very matter-of-factly because it's second nature to you, but it is Chinese arithmetic to others. So many of us that come into the business, and it's really hard coming from the outside, and you're flying by the seat of your pants and you don't know. So I just think you have so much tremendous value to offer so many people as a coach. So anybody that's listening to it, thinking about coaching, definitely have Nanci on your radar. She'll change your agency with these simple, straightforward things that she does. Nanci, let's get out of the agency a little bit. Talk to me about you and some things you're involved in the Cleveland community outside of the agency.
Yeah, so actually today, once a month, I go into Cleveland Public Schools where I graduated from, and I mentor eighth graders. They have a wonderful program in Cleveland called True to You, where every kid gets to pick. You teach the kid about themselves. You teach them about their personality types, what jobs go with that personality type, their likes, their dislikes, what Cleveland schools have programs that match with who they are and what they want to be. And you help them pick that school. And then if they attend the high school, which you're encouraging them to do, for 4 full years, they get to go to college for free at an Ohio school. So it's one of my favorite things to do is to give back and be with the eighth graders in the Cleveland Public Schools.
Okay, so well, first, kudos to you for what you're doing. Eighth grade is a pivotal age. The community I grew up in, Wine Down, Long Island, and I think many communities around America are the same. Eighth grade is kind of like that decision age. Am I going to go left? Am I going to go right? Do I see myself? Have I defined who I am? Am I an athlete? Am I a student? Am I great at math? Or I don't fit in? Am I open to doing some things that I shouldn't do? So I think it's pivotal. But what I heard you saying that I want you to expand upon was that whole going to school in state for free. Talk more about that.
Yeah, so in Cleveland, they have an initiative for the Cleveland Public School kids that they're encouraging them to go to school and to graduate. And if they go to a Cleveland Public School for the full 4 years, they give them a full 4 years scholarship to go to an in-state trade school or college.
Both are amazing options. You have a little small school in Ohio called Ohio State that some people may have heard of. That's not a bad option. Xavier is pretty good. Cincinnati is amazing. I mean, it's all good. Little place called Akron U, pretty good. You have some amazing options, but as we say it and other people think about it, because that's not available to every public school student in other cities around America, you would think it would be a walk-on that everyone would do it. But I would imagine that the students that you're mentoring, they're overcoming some real obstacles, like some major things between eighth grade and this college journey.
Very much so. Very much so. The hardest thing, unfortunately, right now is getting the kids to 12th grade to graduate. And
Yes.
so it's really, they started it a little younger. They were doing it in the high school, like going in and mentoring, but they've moved it to the younger so that really, because who sits down and talks to a kid about their personality type or making choices? Today, we got to talk to them about making choices, what's right choices and wrong choices. And all of that helps them be able to get through those 4 years because they're all going to have opportunities to go on the right path or the wrong path. And, what's the repercussions of those decisions? And so it's such a amazing program. And it's an amazing thing to be part of these kids' lives when they still have the choice to choose to go down the right path.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is amazing. Number one community activity in your heart right now? That's the one?
Well, it's very up there with I'm very active in my local church as well. So,
Talk about it. What do we do in church? What are we doing?
yes. So I am part of a ladies group where we get together every Sunday and do a Bible study together, just being intentional about being in God's Word on a regular basis. I also am the director of we call it Awana Club for 4 and 5-year-olds. So from age 4 till age, I think they're in 6th grade. They have programs every Wednesday night where the kids get to be with kids their age. And have some fun and some games, but learn about God and Jesus, and being able to help mold the young children, to love God into teenage and adults. So love doing all. Involved. I've always been involved in church. I love my church community. The Bible says not to forsake the assembling of others. And I take that very seriously.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. You and I have had faith-based conversations, so love hearing you share that story with others. I think it's critical to have an incredibly strong spiritual foundation. I've shared with others. All of my days start with prayer. Some of my days are followed by exercise and reading. But if I miss those two, the prayer is never, ever missed. Nanci, you have been an incredible guest. What do you want to share with the people that you're working on that might be coming up, or anything good that I should have asked you about, but I didn't?
I would just leave everyone with words of encouragement that you can do whatever you set your heart to do. And if you want something, go after it. The world is your oyster, as they say. Don't let any naysayers put you down or say that you can't do anything. I came from inner city Cleveland schools to becoming a business owner, and now, reciprocating in the mentorship program. So I can do it. You can do it. You can budget. Just put your mind to it. And I would say, share my word for the year and just be intentional. Whatever it is you decide you want to work on, just set a goal and be intentional about achieving it.
I love it. Nanci, I got to ask you one more. Intentionality, is that something that you teach and coach and mentor your staff in your office with as well?
Absolutely.
I love it. I think it's a big word. You used the word consistency earlier. I think that's the single biggest word. I think we all know what we need to do. The biggest challenge we face as humans is being consistent and doing it all the time. Nanci Cieckiewicz. I took the phonetic spelling from in front of me. Cieckiewicz. I got it right. Nanci Cieckiewicz, you have been an incredible guest. Thank you so much for joining us today. Go Cleveland until you meet the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then hopefully we'll see what happens then. Thank you, Nanci. It's been a wonderful guest. Take care.
Thank you.